Hey everyone, welcome to today's webinar on creating an effective return on advertising spend by personalizing the Facebook experience. My name is Cameron McQueen and I work for Nosto Solutions in New York City. For those of you out there who don't know what we do at Nosto, Nosto is a full e-commerce personalization solution. We enable over 18,000 online retailers to deliver their customers personalized shopping experiences wherever they are based on their own unique behavioral data. Very happy to be here today, and we'll hopefully share some new learnings for you that revolve around some highly effective ways to engage and re-engage with your potential customers via the world's most powerful advertising channel, Facebook. So with that said, let's dive right in. I think it makes sense before we get started to just quickly browse the scope of this platform. So everyone is aware that Facebook's reach is astronomical. Never really before in the history of advertising have you had access to so many people with the ability to target, personalize based on their interests. Every day, billions of different data points are analyzed. So every like, every share, every single comment is gathered by the platform, and it gives tons of insights for us and for advertisers to launch and coordinate their online advertising activities. So Facebook alone has 1.65 billion monthly active members worldwide. That's more than the population of China. And the users on average spend about 20 minutes browsing Facebook per day. So seriously significant numbers. But the point here really is your ideal customers are clearly on Facebook. So the question is not really should you be on Facebook, but rather how are you reaching out to your customers on Facebook? What is your current strategy? So today's webinar is really about cutting through the noise and maximizing the use of a great platform for your business. So just some quick numbers before we get going. Facebook has time and time again proven to become the world's most important advertising channel, especially for e-commerce. So companies are able to generate significant traffic and returns through smart and effective advertising. Most importantly here is that 80% of that revenue is actually coming from mobile. So today's customers, they need to be engaged with highly relevant advertising on a very small screen for it to be effective. In other words, it needs to hit home from a personalized standpoint. So here's some stats from our friends at Fast Company, an internet retailer. 54% of consumers find personalized ads to be more engaging. 52% find personalized ads to be more educational. 49% feel the time saved by finding more relevant content, approaching them on their newsfeed. And lastly, 45% find personalized ads more memorable. So there is a significant number attribution towards personalizing the Facebook experience. And with that said, let's just take a quick look at today's agenda. So over the next 20 minutes or so in today's webinar, we will go through the difference between static and dynamic Facebook ads, the two strategies behind personalized advertising. I'll give you a practical example of how to set up your first Facebook ads and give you the next steps to really master Facebook advertising from a personalization standpoint. After that, the floor will be open to questions. So for those who are joining, feel free to ask any questions during my presentation. I'm going to wait till the very end just to answer them, just to keep the flow of the presentation going. But by all means, we're happy to help answer them and really guide your thoughts towards advertising on Facebook. And then after today's webinar, you should know how to do these things. So this is really where the value add will come to you. We really want to make sure that you can maximize the use of this platform and really help your customers find what they're looking for, which is really the premise of what we stand for at Nosto, is working to help your customers have the most successful shopping experience possible. So with that said, hopefully that sounds good to everyone, and let's dive in. So Facebook advertising is really, it's nothing new, but the ability to easily and cost effectively target very specific groups of people or even individual users on Facebook in real time is. So the more data points that you're able to capture, analyze, and utilize, the more effective your Facebook advertising gets. This is because really each individual is met with the items that they're most likely to purchase at that precise time. So it might sound a bit complicated at first, but in reality, it's quite simple. And in this webinar, I'll explain how you'll be able to set up dynamic Facebook ads, that is really personalizing the Facebook experience to create an effective return on advertising spend. So let's take a look at how dynamic Facebook ads actually work. To begin, your customers are unique, so you should be treating them that way on Facebook too. So let's take a step back and imagine you have a sports store, you're selling sports equipment and accessories online. This is what your current customer base could look like. With static Facebook advertising, you're actually targeting all these people with the exact same ad, despite their clear contrast of interests. So this is an example of what your static Facebook ad would look like. You're promoting a discounted bike to all of your customers, even though Lars is really the only one interested in bicycling, and Erica is the only one who's really discount led. So she purchases on the fact that something might be discounted or there might be a sale going on. When displaying static ads, you might be showing the same ad 10,000 times, and only a handful of those impressions are even likely to result in an actual purchase. But imagine having the same ad spend, but being able to pinpoint your ads exactly to the people who are actually likely to buy. So when you approach each customer as an individual, you'll be able to speak to them directly and entice them to purchase. And this is because you'll actually know what they would like to buy and automatically offer them just that. So give them really the choice as theirs directly in front on their Facebook newsfeed. So what is really the difference between static and dynamic Facebook ads? Dynamic Facebook ads are far superior to static ads due to several factors. The first is they really help you stand out from the crowd. Personalization allows you to automatically generate adverts that really cut through the noise. There's a lot going on the Facebook newsfeed. Just helping them really get down to their personal interests, what they've browsed before, really helps cut through the noise and stand out. They really abide, going on point number 2, by keeping the content relevant and personal, much like Facebook's news feed, which delivers you the most relevant content and news tailored towards your interests. The ad should appear almost natively in one's home feed as well. Next, they really reduce the cost per click by up to 35% because the users are way more engaged. And then for a study from Adobe, saw that dynamic ads actually had up to a 300% greater click-through rate. So quite substantial differentiator between a static ad. They really allow you to take advantage of different targeting options. So Facebook is a very powerful tool. There's a lot of options at your helm, but if you're not really leveraging them, then you're not really taking advantage of the full power behind what Facebook's built and Facebook subsidiaries as well. It's surprisingly quick and easy to manage. You design a template, you set your bid, and you automatically produce different ads time and time again. And these ads are not only quick and easy to set up, they're actually smart and self-learning. So they're based on purchasing patterns, they're always up to date, and they never really show out of stock options as they're populated in real time. So there's quite a few clear advantages here towards populating dynamic ads versus static. But let's actually talk about how does that work. So if you set up your ads on Facebook directly, you need to feed the information of the products you want to advertise. With third-party solutions such as Nosto, everything is automated. So Facebook gets the product information from Nosto, meaning you don't have to do any of the manual work here or allocate any additional IT resources really to launching these campaigns. Your ad team, your marketing team will love you for it. After the product information is on Facebook, you just need to choose the campaign type that suits your business goals, really tweak the design, match your branding, and insert your budget, and basically you're good to go from that point of view. And then so how can you really leverage this? So there's 2 clear strategies involved in personalized Facebook advertising. The first is customer acquisition. So really, how do you go about and attract new customers? And the second would be retargeting, so re-engaging with lost customers. And they're not necessarily lost customers, they're customers that might have shown interest. They might be warm towards your products, but just really haven't been pushed in the right direction or found exactly what they're looking for. So those are basically the 2 clear strategies that we've segmented here in personalized advertising. So next, we'll really go through the approach to tackle each one of these strategies in a bit more detail. So for customer acquisition, you really want to display prospecting campaigns to a predefined demographic. And with demographic targeting, it really just relies on the analysis of the masses. So it's based on the assumption that people's behavior is often driven by that of their peers. So essentially crowd wisdom. You're segmenting the wisdom of the crowd to that wisdom of your predefined demographic. So you'll be able to allocate your marketing spend a bit more efficiently. Remember, clicks and impressions become very, very expensive if they're aimed at the wrong people. So by selecting what gender, age, interests your ad should be displayed to, you're already far in boosting your return on advertising spend and cutting out the noise of advertising to everyone who might not be your ideal target market. So demographic targeting really manifests itself in a couple ways in product level ads that are displayed to the customer, usually as bestseller or trending item adverts. So this is going to bring us to our first example. It's one of our clients based out of Sweden. It's named Eaton Shirts. It's a Swedish luxury fashion brand. What they're doing here is they're actually using Nosto to generate a dynamic multi-product ad, which shows the most popular items in the store right now. So Eaton is targeting this ad to be shown to people of a certain age, gender, and location to really maximize their return on their advertising spend. So since the ads are automatically updated in real time, the items are always seasonally relevant and they're never out of stock. So this prospecting campaign using demographic targeting is generating about a 2.3% CTR for Eaton, which is 13 times the usual CTR for static prospecting Facebook ads. So a 13% boost compared to if they were to just populate bestsellers anonymously without the use of third-party data. In this example, the potential customer who's never actually visited your site is targeted based on their interests. So the thought process here is the person has already liked surfing magazine. They might be young in their 20s and might like to surf, snowboard, ski. So what we can really draw the conclusion from here is that they naturally be interested in surfing equipment and accessories. So targeting your ads to these people will allow you to, again, boost your return as you already know what your customers are interested in and can just offer them that to see if they'll be enticed by a product level offer of the same interest. So this brings us to lookalike audience targeting, which is actually a really great way to reach shoppers who are similar to your current customers and therefore more likely to convert, but not currently maybe aware of your store, your brand, or they haven't shopped before with your company. So let me give you just a brief explanation of what the lookalike audience actually is. To begin, we take your seed audience, which is actually your current customer base, and based on the seed audience, Facebook and third-party solutions really identify what other users are most similar to your current customer base, so therefore most likely to buy your items. So this is actually the lookalike audience, and by targeting these people, you're really ensuring that your offering is reaching those eyeballs of your ideal customers based on what your seed audience has provided. So an example of this would be one of our customers out of the UK, Bodybuilding Warehouse, which is currently up and running with a lookalike audience campaign. So the retailer first really narrows down the audience based on location, age, gender, or any interests, and lets Facebook do the rest in terms of defining which other Facebook users are most similar to the seed audience to be targeted. So in the Facebook feed on the upper right, as you can see in the example there, you can see what the ad looks like to a customer who would fit that lookalike audience demographic. And so having gone pretty rapidly through the different possibilities of how to acquire new customers on Facebook through automated advertising, it's going to bring us to our next channel of our next strategy in personalized advertising, which is re-engagement or retargeting ads. So I'm going to show you 3 more examples of effective re-engagement. But first, let me just quickly explain how this actually works. So with dynamic Facebook advertising, it really allows you to tailor the e-commerce customer experience to the individual shopper. So this is done by building individual customer buying profiles, which can then be used to dynamically and automatically tailor adverts. So when we're profiling a customer, the information may be collected across hundreds of different data points from several different sources. So including anything that's happening on site, any interaction with products, any browsing, any abandonment, and offsite behavior as well, interaction with emails, and also social behavior. So what's happening on the social networks such as Facebook or Instagram. Information is then really collected and can be, this type of information can include different interests, context of where they are in the buying cycle as well, which is quite powerful, as we'll show you in a couple examples. Examples to follow will include personal re-engagement ads. So this is really ads that are targeted at people who've browsed your site and left. abandoned cart recovery ads, ads targeted at people who've put items in their cart but didn't complete a purchase, so almost there but didn't really cross the finish line. Post-purchase ads also, so ads that targeted people who've recently bought an item. And we're going to go through all of these in a little more detail. So the first example really would be our client from Sweden, I believe, which is Odd Molly, who is targeting customers who have browsed but not purchased an item. So in this example, it's actually imperative to use a multi-product ad and to show alternative items as well. In this case, as there could very well be a reason they didn't exactly purchase the first item that they abandoned, but might be interested in something that's very similar. So as you can see in this ad, there's 2 black tank tops. Maybe the next one is something that they're actually looking for, but maybe didn't initially find. So that's why it's powerful to always display an alternative item as well and entice the customer to come back to the site. The second, returning back to Eaton shirts, this example really displays adverts populated with items that were left abandoned in the shopping cart during a visit to the Eaton store, or other items relevant to these pieces as well. So adding the item to the cart is really one of the highest indicators in e-commerce of interest. They've almost made it there, yet still about 75% to 80%, depending on your store, are still going to abandon. So this is a very effective way to reach out to them, remind them of what they left in their carts. Could be a gift for their friend. It could be something that they're just interested in purchasing for themselves. Just a simple reminder popping up on their Facebook newsfeed goes a long way towards bringing them back to your site. And these users are already highly engaged and therefore most likely ready to re-engage and go complete that purchase. And the last ad example today would be once a customer has really completed a purchase, you don't want to reach out to them with the items they just actually bought. A lot of customers will find that quite annoying. So you want to make sure that these are dynamic towards exactly what they didn't purchase and just show relevant items or related items to their purchase, such as cricket hockey is displaying here. So making sure that if they do come back, what accessories can we cross-sell them with, or what did they maybe not complete within that first purchase that they might be interested in coming back to the site and seeing next. So that's really what you want to do with personalized advertising. But for your stores out there, how can you really utilize this? So let's kind of hop onto a practical example using just a common example store that I think we can all relate to. So in this example, let's say you have an online store. Let's say they sell sports equipment, and you have an online presence as well as a brick and mortar store in New York City. Currently, I have a database, it looks like, of 8,300 existing customers. How do you go on and attract and retain customers on Facebook to generate an effective return on your advertising spend? So for attracting new quality customers on Facebook, you can really use the data that you have on those 8,300 customers to generate automated dynamic ads. So you hopefully already know your most valuable customers, a little bit about them. They might be of a certain gender or age, or they might be interested in specific sports. So you can really further provide these in a demographic targeting campaign, target these customers on Facebook. Here, we're targeting male customers, it looks like, in New York City in the age range of 18 to 35 years. So they've shown an interest towards sports and outdoor, Rio Olympics, so we can see that our ads can reach over 1 million Facebook users just matching this criteria alone. So quite a powerful audience base at your fingertips. But let's take a quick step back, I guess. At this point, often retailers will start targeting too broad of groups. So this really affects your advertising spend, but it also makes it difficult for you to identify what really is the most valuable group of customers to target on Facebook. So you might want to start a few different campaigns and really narrow down your targeting. So this will allow you to immediately see which interest groups are really of most value to you. And they might be slightly different than what you initially thought your target market was. So secondly, we can also really utilize the hugely popular tool of lookalike targeting to identify other potential customers that are most like those 8,300 customers that you already have, and therefore most likely to also want to purchase your items. So using lookalike targeting can really help you reach your target group more effectively, as you don't really need to know what specifically your ideal customers are interested in. You essentially let Facebook do the work behind that. You, however, do need to collect the data first from your current customer base to be able to find similar profiles. So sit tight, let Facebook really analyze your current customer base for a few days. Could take up to a week depending on your traffic before you should start any lookalike campaigns, as the data does need to build and the different profiles attributed to these customers. So let's dig a little bit deeper as well. You obviously have certain KPIs that you'd like to leverage. And really, how are you using them? You want to optimize these KPIs by applying a retention strategy. So reach back to your customers by reminding them of items that they've left in their cart, or really items that go well together with the items that they've already purchased. There's a lot you can do. You can set up a campaign targeting people who've just browsed interesting items in your store, as we mentioned, and shown an interest in your product. There's several different possibilities here for you to really leverage and optimize on. As you can see, there's a ton of different strategies that you can really incorporate towards both customer acquisition, but also retaining those customers once you're on the site. So now that we've really been through the essentials of personalized Facebook advertising, here are kind of the next steps that will help you along the way to setting up your own Facebook campaigns fast and easily. So on the back of the webinar today, you can connect your Nosto account to Facebook. If you're not using Nosto, I definitely recommend to give us a look. We're always happy to schedule a demo. We offer a free trial, but more importantly, it's an extremely easy way to get started with personalized advertising, let alone the ability to really optimize your on-site shopping experience with the other tools. But what Nosto does in this case, it will automatically create your product ads. Takes a few minutes up to a few hours, and you're really ready to create your first prospecting and retargeting campaigns. In a week, Nosto really collects information about your seed audience. So that lookalike campaigns, which the lookalike campaigns are really based on. So by that time, you should have collected enough data to be able to launch lookalike campaigns successfully. Depending on your ad traffic, you can probably get started even earlier than that, but always nice to just wait a little bit more, let the data profiles build up. But this is also a really good time to check the stats that you've gathered so far in your ad campaigns. Is one performing better than the other? Most likely. And then if so, you should consider increasing the budget of that campaign, decreasing the budget of another campaign that's not doing so well. So always good to diversify and optimize based on the statistics that are readily available for you. Next, during the summer, Nosto really continuously optimizes your ads. These are self-learning and smart ads, but you might want to test changing demographics or interests to really see if these affect your return on advertising spend. So you'd want to start preparing for the launch of your autumn collection. Let's say if you're in fashion, you'd like to have these out in front of your ideal customer's eyes, most likely in August by the end of Q3. Moving right along, for those of you that do Black Friday promotions, for Black Friday, this is really a great time to test dedicated promotions. So you can set up your page with pop-ups that appear offering a discount for the people landing on your store from a Black Friday sales ad on Facebook. A nice way to really welcome them coming from their social network to your store. You've distracted them enough, so congratulations to actually go on online shopping as opposed to watching videos of cats. So it is a nice enticement. And just welcome them with a nice message, maybe offer them a coupon. But this will give your Black Friday shoppers really an extra incentive to complete the purchase on their site. And then finally, getting ready for 2017, you want to set up your retargeting campaigns to avoid January sales dip, which most online retailers will experience depending on the seasonality. So then you can be really well on your way to conquering 2017. And that really concludes our webinar for today. Just remember that every one of your customers is unique, so it's really time to start treating them that way. They will appreciate it, and equally as importantly, so will your revenue as well. So these are quite effective ways to really engage with your customers, help them find what they're looking for, and they're very effective in terms of driving the return for your advertising spend. Now I'm more than happy to really open up the floor to any questions. Thanks a lot for everyone's interest and for staying on with me. Please feel free to reach out if there's anything that we can help answer at Nosto. So if you do have any questions, just feel free to type them in. One question just received: do I already need a Facebook Business Manager account? The answer is yes. You will first need to set that up through Facebook, and then once that is ready, you'll just have to sync it up through Nosto, which is a couple steps, but we can provide a bit more information on the follow-up to this webinar on how you can get started with that. We have it all nicely laid out step by step. Okay, what is the difference between a standard retargeting ad of a product and Nosto? So Nosto really dynamically customizes them, really going beyond simple segmentation and tailoring recs right down to the individual consumer. So we incorporate we only do multi-product carousel ads, but we use our own data to really improve the relevancy behind the products being shown. Oh, and one more from Diana. How is lookalike audience defined? How do I know that they don't just take the age range and qualify it as a lookalike? That is a good question. It's really up to you to determine what you'd like Facebook to really incorporate. Facebook has, I think it's something like 600 to 800 different attribute points that they're able to segment me and you on, anyone who has a Facebook account. So they have a lot of different data points that they can incorporate. Whether they're using all of those, I'm not entirely sure, but they will be defining gender, age. We're also tying in our different customer buying profiles down to brand affinity, things that we're incorporating in our own Nosto recommendations, and then these are further getting segmented into our Facebook retargeting ads as well. So in terms of how are the lookalike audiences defined, it's going to be a mixture of behavioral data and then the different contextual data and social data that we can collect from Facebook. So a nice mixture. Do we need to change Facebook ads from time to time, or is the personalization makes it different enough? Once you set up an ad campaign, it's always important to really look at the statistics. Once the ad campaigns are set up, because they're dynamic, Nosto does a lot of the work for you. So these are going to be the products that are actually viewed on the product page from your customers being reached out to them directly on Facebook. With that said, throughout the seasons, different seasons, you might want to change the demographic targeting. You might want to really look into what you can tweak or alter, which just takes a couple clicks really, and just measure the results. So like any advertising channel, you always want to continuously optimize, but you don't want to mess around with it too much if it is performing well. So it really just depends on how the performance is going. We're always happy to really lend our thoughts at Nosto as well, and base it on our customer base of what's worked well for similar clients. Will Ricketts just asked, do you think lookalike audiences would still be as effective for a gift retailer, given that customers are generally shopping for someone else? That is a great question, Will. I think that really depends. Okay, that's very interesting. I might need to get back to you, Will, on that. I'm going to take down your email and send you a response, but I do think it could be effective as well. But considering that the customers that we're really basing these profiles on are purchasing for someone else, the data could potentially be a little skewed, although we are, depending on what they've purchased before, might be able to use some of the data points effectively. But I'll respond in an email separate to this, if that's all right. And Jeremiah described, can you explain a bit more about your algorithms, the smart data for the on-site recommendations? Are they similar to what Amazon uses? So yes, essentially Nosto is capturing every single interaction between a customer and the products on your website. So every time a customer is browsing products, abandoning them, looking at multiple products together, purchasing them, this is all getting factored into our machine learning algorithms. We're taking into consideration different anonymized customer profiles as well, such as brand affinity, price point. We're also looking at the contextual data on the site between two products and matching them together. So there's 5 or 6 different layers to our personalization algorithm that's really determining what does that customer want to see and when do they want to see it. But the most important one from that is an individual customer's behavioral data. So we really attribute the crowd wisdom of every customer who's had a similar click path towards a purchase, viewing similar items, but we're also basing it on individuals, how often they've come back to the site, and any data that we can really extract from them based on their behavior. One more, if we'd like to market only to our newest collections when a season starts, everybody just been looking at our sales from past season. Can we show them only our newest lines anyway? Okay, so asking Nosto to essentially just showcase in your ads brand new lines from a brand new season, essentially. There might be a workaround for this. I'll have to talk to our support. Essentially, we can do that with our on-site recommendations. So I'm just going to double check on that if there's any way that we can customize that towards our advertising. I'm not sure we'll be able to do that, but Aki, let me just send you an email on the back of this with the answer. Perfect. Is there any more questions? Great. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I really hopefully that was informative for you guys and guides your future advertising on social channels. One thing I should mention, we're definitely piloting Instagram as well. So we're excited for that to be coming out soon. So this is something that a lot of what I mentioned today will be available via that as well. So thanks everyone for your time, and and feel free to reach out to support@nosto.com or my email address if you have any further questions. With that said, thanks again and have a great day.